Coming to you live from Nairobi, Kenya, this is TV 47 Weekend, and to our top picks of the bulletin. Tonight, wave of disappointment sweeps over mega relief at the pump.
Naona hali ya biashara sio mzuri juu mambo na fuel haijashuka vile venye tulikuwa tunatarajia.
As president says the storm is here to stay for now.
Then they are subsidizing consumption as we are going to invest in production.
Police in Nakuru commence investigations after 3 bodies were found dumped at the Dundori forest.
Tulienda kwa scene, tukaangalia miili. Tulikuwa na miili 3, middle-aged men. Walikuwa wametupwa next to each other.
Amin Mohamed Ibrahim appointed head of the DCI.
Basically to give strategic direction to the directorate and how I should see how I can operationalize the political manifesto of our Kenya Kwanza government.
Find out who he is and what awaits in his in-tray. And Wirimu is on the sign language docket. My name is Stanley Yeringita. Officially welcome to the bulletin. After conducting a thorough forensic documentation today, DCI detectives have concluded that slain businessman George Mwangi was murdered in his bedroom at the top floor. And as the prime suspect of the murder and wife to the deceased, Gladys Chania, lies behind bars, many are trying to piece together her social media platforms and what they really meant.
Just to remind you today that life is not always a bed of roses.
This is one of the many motivational quotes that Kiambu-based politician Gladys Chania posts on her social media platform Facebook. On Monday, 12th October this year, the counseling psychologist appeared on a breakfast show in a local station. Chania posted that she will grace the screens on Kameme TV that morning. This was just a day after her husband, now deceased George Mwangi, was reported missing. Detectives say Gladys is believed to have masterminded the murder of her husband following her discovery that the father of their 3 children was having an affair with another woman. In a 2-part series pieced together by the DCI communications team, the deceased wife is suspected to have been assisted by a newly employed casual laborer and other accomplices in committing the cold-blooded murder. Chania has been involved in marriage counseling on local TV channels, though her union with a Rwandan-based engineer seemed to have been undergoing turbulent times, since the woman would mostly spend her time at their Thika home, while Mwangi will stay at the splendid 5-bedroomed Mangu residence whenever he was in the country. Very active on social media, she late last month, for example, posted a Swahili post, and I quote, "Kamilisha hii methali, wanawake wa ni moto," end of quote. Just before that, she had earlier posted on her socials. Detectives say that sometime late last year, a woman identified as Lucy Modoni was looking for a rental house met the deceased during one of his visits. Lucy and Mwangi would later be lovers. In her post on 23rd September 2022, Chania posted that the source of cheating in marriage is polygamy background. Detectives based at the Crime Research and Intelligence Bureau, Homicide Department, Forensic Crime Scene and Photographic Units have concluded that George Mwangi was murdered in his bedroom at the top floor on his house before his body was dumped at Kiaini Forest. George Mwangi had arrived back in the country on September 13th from Rwanda, where he is a contractor. And away from that, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has hit at Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance leader Raila Odinga, saying he ditched his role as a government watchdog in former President Uhuru Kenyatta's government and instead joined hands and watched over as billions were looted. According to the second-in-command, Raila is to blame for the rise of the cost of living in the country. Chepto Boyd with more details.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has clapped back at Azimio la Umoja critics, saying that Azimio leader Raila Odinga is to blame for the high cost of living in the country.
Tulikuta store hakuna kitu. Hata panya walikuwa wametoka hakuna kitu ya kukula.
According to him, Raila abandoned his oversight role during Uhuru Kenyatta's reign as the president, which led to the looting of public coffers.
Na umepoteza pesa mingi sana mwaka 4. Ukakoroga rais wetu, kazi yote ikasimama for 4 years, ni BBI na rege na Azimio, tukaenda hasara. Sasa wewe una shida hapa, unaenda ati kwa mkutano Nairobi ati kuchochea watu, na mwenye kuleta hii kasuba yote iko Kenya, si ndio mzee?
According to the second in command, Raila misled the government to spend 50 million shillings on the BBI project, which was declared null and void in court, and another 200 billion shillings in the Azimio project.
Sasa wewe mzee, tulia kidogo. Patia William Ruto na sisi nafasi tuunde hii uchumi, kwa sababu na wewe hiyo kazi unafanya ndio kazi yako. Makosa uone ile ulikosea, anza kukosoa sisi kwa yale ambaye tunafanya. Yale mlifanya na serikali ya Jubilee, hiyo unyamaze, kwa sababu wewe ndio ulichangia.
At the same time, Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru has asked the government to return the custody of Wanguru Stadium to the county in what she says was overtaken by the previous government.
Mimi tulifungiwa hiyo stadium na Kibicho, akaenda na kifunguo. Tukimuitisha kifunguo ndio tufanye rally, ndio tukuhost, akakataa. Akasema sasa hiyo stadium akaiita jina international.
Governor, usijali, hiyo kifunguo nitaenda kuitisha, nipatie William Ruto akuje amfungulie stadium ndio muweze kuendelea.
The leaders were speaking during the commissioning of Thiba Dam in Kirinyaga County, a project expected to boost the productivity of rice in the region. The leaders say through the project, rice farmers will see an increase by 10 acres and the profit will grow from 10 billion shillings to 18 billion shillings. This as the country tries to mitigate the ravaging drought. As the country grapples with the drought situation which has left farmers and herders with a huge loss, President William Ruto has urged every Kenyan to plant 100 trees in what will result to 5 billion trees, a move he says shall cover the drought situation and boost productivity in our farms. Chipto Boyd TV 47 from Kirinyaga County.
Thank you, Chipto Boyd, for that. Now, on the other side of the seesaw, Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga insists that the nation has not moved on from what he claims was flawed general elections in August. Speaking in Bondo, Siaya County, Raila says the nation did not celebrate the outcome because the decision was not reflected on the results announced by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. Chairman Wafula Chebukati, his allies led by Siaya Governor James Orengo and Senator Oburu Odinga have criticized the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions over the jailing of Sirisia lawmaker John Waluke and dropping graft charges against the Kenya Kwanza Brigade, urging him to release Sirisia lawmaker.
Uchaguzi imemalizika, lakini sherehe hakuna. Wakenya wana huzuni. Na mimi nimesema tunapodhiki baadaye mwishowe kuwa na faraja.
The nation called Kenya deserves respect. The nation Kenya must be led by patriots. The nation called Kenya must be a nation of principles and laws. Laws which are immutable. I cannot see a court in Kenya which can take Waluke to imprisonment for 67 years and let him go, and somebody is charged for stealing more than 100 times of what Waluke is accused to have stolen, and you set him free. That is impunity Otiende was talking about. We must not have impunity at all, at all, at all.
Kenya Power, people who stole money in all these parastatals, including Aror, Kamarer dams, they are being released from prison under Ruto. And Ruto said he was going to fight corruption. Is that the way to fight corruption? You don't fight corruption by freeing criminals. You should be arresting more criminals and charge them and take them to court, not to free those who are already charged and then reward them. He is rewarding the criminals with big posts. So this is a government which has started on a wrong footing.
Meanwhile, President William Ruto has insisted that the government will not go back in its resolve to avoid subsidizing the price of unga. The president's sentiments have reawakened the debate on the cost of living on the backdrop of the meager reduction in fuel pump prices. Beatrice Otare with more.
The latest fuel price review by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority has reawakened the debate on the high cost of living, with many Kenyans expressing disappointment. The new review comes with the president marking 1 month in office and has been under pressure from the opposition, who accused him of having blamed his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta for failing to cushion Kenyans from the high cost of living. Today, he insisted that the government will not be going back to subsidizing consumption.
Nyinyi mlitumia bilioni 8 mwezi mmoja kusubsidize unga ambaye haikufikia mwananchi. Sisi tutatumia hiyo bilioni 8 yenu kusubsidize magunia milioni 6 ya kusaidia wakulima watuzalishie chakula ndio tuweze kupunguza gharama ya chakula.
Many Kenyans now asking the president to reconsider pumping more funds to the fuel subsidy, which will in turn reduce fuel prices and therefore ease on the burden of the cost of living, since prices of basic commodities will come down.
Naona hali ya biashara sio mzuri juu mambo na fuel haijashuka vile venye tulikuwa tunatarajia. Kazi ya bodaboda katika hii mji ya Kisii tumeona imekuwa ngumu na hali ya maisha imekuwa ngumu.
While asking for more time to actualize his agenda, the president insists that his predecessor measures to alleviate the suffering of Kenyans was like stopping a hemorrhage with a band-aid.
So our competitors must know that we have a different approach. Then they are subsidizing consumption as we are going to invest in production.
A subsidy of 18 shillings and 15 cents per litre for diesel and 27 shillings and 47 cents per litre for kerosene has been maintained from the Petroleum Development Levy, without which Kenyans will pay 181 shillings and 15 cents per litre for diesel and 174 shillings and 41 cents for kerosene, which is the main source of energy for many poor families. Reporting for TV47, my name is Beatrice Watari.
Thank you, Tony, for that. Now to a keener look on the new sheriff in town. Amin Mohammed Ibrahim becomes the third director of the Directorate of the Criminal Investigations, inheriting a packed-in tray which includes a string of unresolved matters which have since gone cold. Flora Limuki now gives us a profile of the new sheriff in town.
My expectation is that I'll be the next DCI.
After rigorous exercise to search for next director of criminal investigations in the country, Amin Mohammed Ibrahim has been appointed as the next head of the Kiambu road-based Directorate of Criminal Investigations. The appointment was made through a Gazette notice dated 14th October, the last day of the 14-day period the acting DCI Hamisi Massa was to be in office pending appointment of a substantive DCI boss. The search for the next top cop started with over 250 candidates from the various formations of the National Police Service who expressed interest in replacing George Kinoti, who resigned late last month. The commission then shortlisted 10 top-ranking cops who were interviewed in a marathon session on Tuesday at the Kenya School of Government. They were, among others, questioned on their world experience and why they want to be the DCI and what they have to offer. Amin would later be picked out of a list of 3, which also included Gideon Munga Nyale and Eliud Kipkoech Lagat. Amin takes over at a time when the DCI is under heavy pressure from the political divide, blamed for being used by the executive for political ends. Once appointed, Amin promised to streamline the role of the directorate, as well as mend the relationship between the DCI and the new administration.
See how I can operationalize the political manifesto of our Kenya Kwanza government.
According to the National Police Service Act 2011, the main functions of the DCI include collection and provision of criminal intelligence, investigations on serious crimes including homicides, narcotics, money laundering, and economic crimes, maintaining of law and order, and detection, prevention of crime. They also apprehend offenders, maintain criminal records, coordinate country Interpol affairs, carry out investigation on matters that may be referred to it by the Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOA. Some of the formations under the DCI include the Bomb Disposal Unit, Anti-Terror Police Unit, Anti-Narcotics Unit, Banking Fraud Investigations Unit, Interpol Regional Bureau, Bomb Disposal Unit, among others. Before his appointment, Amin was the director of the Internal Affairs Unit, mandated to investigate complaints against police. He served as the Provincial Criminal Investigations Officer between 2006 and 2009 in Rift Valley. He has a master's degree in criminology and security management from Egerton University. He also served at the defunct Anti-Corruption Police Unit in 2002 and as a DCIO at Langata, Kilindini, Thika and Mandera divisions. Amin will be remembered as the main witness for former police boss Hussein Ali at the ICC, who was facing crimes against humanity charges. He was also the man in charge of the probe that was facing former Deputy Chief Justice Nancy Baraza. The tenure of the DCI director is, however, at the discretion of the president. Flora Limuki, TV 47.
Many thanks, Flora, for that. With more than 4.2 million people having been affected by the drought situation in the country, pressure is now mounting on the national government to help mitigate the situation. However, stakeholders and agriculture experts, together with county leaders, have called on farmers to adapt to other means of survival, including planting sorghum, and complete with previous government's project in order to address the dire situation. And as Paul Kirobi reports, the next Minister of Agriculture will have a hard time to ensure Kenya is food secure.
Few days ago, reports indicated more than 4.2 million people have been affected by drought situation in the country, a situation that now seems to get out of hand and becoming a major challenge to the county government. In Nyandarua County Governor Dr. Kiare Badilisha and County Commissioner Amos Mariba underscored the need for both the national and the county governments to combine efforts by ensuring the national government hastened the process of completing the previous projects under the leadership of former President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Flagship project yetu ya area hii mwaka huu ama miaka 5 ambayo mimi nitakuwa governor itakuwa ni maneno ya maji. Lakini hata hivyo county haina uwezo ya kuleta maji ya kutoshelesha mahitaji ya hawa watu. Na ndio tunaomba ile dam ambayo tuliambiliwa na national government inaitwa Pesi Dam, iko hapa katika mlimo wa Abadia. Naomba yule waziri wa maji ambaye ataingia kwa ofisi wiki chache zijazo, mimi nitakuwa katika ofisi yake kumwambia damu hii lazima sasa ishughulikiwe na ndio tumalize masuala ya njaa hapa Daragwa once and for all.
Speaking in Nyandarua constituency when they distributed relief food to the neediest families as drought continues to bite most parts of the country. The two lamented that despite the region being an agricultural rich county, farmers depend on rain-fed agriculture and hence have been hit hard by the prevailing drought.
Na katika sehemu hii unajua kuna Genesis water project ambayo ilifanywa design hata ikawa imekuwa launched, lakini zile hela zilikuwa zimewekwa shilingi milioni 30 haingetosha. Kwa hivyo kule Nairobi kuna mipango ya kuona kwamba hiyo pesa imeongezwa ili muwe na mradi mkubwa wenye utawasaidia hapa kufanya kilimo na maendeleo yenu.
Earlier this week, Kenyans took to social media to complain about the tragic death of 2-year-old Travis Minor, who had a fork jembe lodged in his skull, with many citing medical negligence at the Kenyatta National Hospital. Today, the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union have weighed in on the incident, blaming the Kiambu County Government and Thika Level 5 Hospital for the incident. Elizabeth Atieno now reports.
On Tuesday this week, the disturbing image of 2-year-old Travis Minor, who had a fork jembe lodged in his skull, made rounds on social media, with a section of Kenyans blaming the Kenyatta National Hospital after Minor's mother revealed that her son died in the hands of surgeons at the hospital on Tuesday evening. On Wednesday, the 12th of October, Kenyatta National Hospital gave its account of events that led to the death of the 2-year-old, where doctors revealed that the boy had lost too much vital fluids and that his blood was not clotting normally. But when the doctors were ready to perform the surgery, it was too late, as the minor died on the operating table.
Once it's lodged there, and my friend, that sinus can bleed, even in an ordinary, normal operation. It can bleed so much in a patient whose coagulation is okay. Tell me how it will bleed in a patient whose coagulation is already compromised.
Travis Minor's tragic demise angered Kenyans, with many asking why the doctors were hesitant to immediately pluck off the foreign object. Further questions abounding as to what is the exact medical procedure to follow in such a case, and if the doctors were justified to delay the surgical procedure.
Well, it will be by public gallery desirable that once a boy comes with a foko jembe stuck on the head, the most intuitive thing to do is to yank it out. But I will tell you, body runs on something called physiology, and as the reports tell us that number one, the child had already bled too much, and once you bleed in a topic called trauma, that is in surgery, I'm a general surgeon by profession, is that your coagulation or blood clotting system becomes compromised, and hence any attempt at cutting you or doing surgery on you will actually, yes, kill you. That is what you call taking the patient away from the disease, not the disease away from the patient.
Dr. Abi Mwachi, the national chairman for the Kenya Medical Practitioners Pharmacist and Dentist Union, now explains the step-to-step procedure to be followed in cases similar to that of Travis.
They had to do the management. Management does not just involve surgery. It's part of it. It involves checking that the patient's physiology is okay for theater based on a Hippocratic principle. First, do no harm. If yanking out that thing will kill the baby, then that is against the Hippocratic oath. Transfuse the patient, make sure that the coagulation cascade is okay without due pressure from Twitter. And once it's okay, now you're good to go in as you pray to your God that they guide your hands. Because as I said, medicine is an inexact science. Even doctors don't know everything that pertains to the human physiology.
According to Dr. Mwachi, cases of patients with foreign objects lodged in the skull are rare globally. Therefore, doctors at the Kenyatta National Hospital needed time to deal with the case discreetly.
Not every day do you get a child with a fork jembe, or like we had baby senior during the terrorist attack, a bullet lodged in the head. Yeah, this particular one was lodged at a very precarious situation called the sagittal sinus. This is the biggest vein in the brain. Very few documented cases in the world. I'm sure if you search the internet, you'll find less than 3 or 4. And in those cases, there are small nails. This is a foko jembe, unheard of. I think the first case in the world.
The late Travis was initially rushed to Thika Level 5 for treatment following the bizarre incident at his home in Kilimambogo, Kiambu County. But doctors at the facility referred him to Kenyatta National Hospital. KMPDU now blames the Kiambu County government and the Thika Level 5 hospital management for the dysfunctional health system.
But we have to get down and look at it, that a Level 5 hospital, as prescribed in the norms, need to have all this stuff. Need to have a neurosurgeon, need to be able to do these services. We have over 40 counties in this country who do not have neurosurgeons.
Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.
Well, and even as the whole blame games continue, may the soul of baby Travis rest in eternal peace. And away from that, family feud have rocked the family of fallen former INEC boy Member of Parliament William Chepkut, with Milka Chepkut, said to be Chepkut's wife, moving to court to stop the burial set to take place on 18th next week, alleging to have been excluded from the funeral arrangements together with her 2 children. Milka, who says she has been the deceased legal wife for 24 years, fears for the future of her 2 children, after most of their property was allegedly taken by the siblings of the late INEC boy Member of Parliament. She says police have been used on many occasions to intimidate her and the children, saying that she has been arrested multiple times. Chepkut, who served as MP for INEC boy constituency in Uasin Gishu County between 2017 and 2022, died on Saturday morning, October 8th, at Medihill Hospital in Parklands, Nairobi. And this is a story that we'll be following up on, and even the 18th set date for the funeral arrangements. We'll definitely be giving you that particular update. Keep talking to us on our social media platforms at TV47KE on Facebook and Twitter.
We are preparing for the burial, which is on 18th, and I'm excluded from the burial arrangements. So the committee are meeting away from my house. I have a house in Westlands, but the committee decided to have meetings elsewhere at Sanjay's place. So I feel like I'm the one who is supposed to be mourning with my children, and I feel the people who are Mheshimiwa's friends should come to my house and mourn with me. I don't know what my kids are going to inherit, because if the siblings are on everything that Mheshimiwa owns, what are my children going back to school? Are my children education secured? Is my safety secured? When we were in the church, all our laptops, somebody came and collected laptops in my house, things were stolen.
The family has also organized multiple meetings discouraging my dad from paying my school fees. This resulted in me skipping a whole year of school. Yesterday, we had gone to the place, Sanjay's place, and upon arrival, we discovered that these people are calling the police on us, yet we are struggling to mourn.
Asking people of goodwill who are out to support Mheshimiwa to ensure that they do not send their support to scrupulous individuals who will end up using it for their own benefit.
Our clans are apprehensive that the state having involved itself, they will not be allowed to participate fully in the program.
And from that, fear and panic has gripped residents of Ithigani area in Nakuru County after 3 bodies were discovered in a shallow grave at the Dundori forest. The 3 are suspected to be killed elsewhere before they were dumped there. Police have commenced investigations in a bid to identify who the 3 are. I'm by Emmanuel Uthmo.
Residents in Dundori Bahati area in Nakuru are reeling in shock following the discovery of 3 male bodies in the area. The bodies of the unidentified men were found dumped in a ditch along the Nakuru-Dundori road by locals who had been hired to clean thick bushes along the major road.
Sasa ndio tukakuta watu wenye walikuwa wamepewa kazi na hii ya Kenya. Hiyo ya Kenya ndio walikuwa wamepewa kazi. Sasa huyo msichana mmoja ndiye akasimama hapa. Hao wengine wakashangaa akashindwa. Kwani huyu nini ameangalia hivyo? Ndio akaambia naona kama ni mtu wako hapa. Sasa wenye walikuja wengine wakaipa jamaa mmoja ndiye alikuja akaangalia ndio akaambia wengine ni watu. Sasa ndio wakakuja.
According to Nakuru North Sub-County Police Commander Samson Adanje, the 3 who are suspected to have been killed elsewhere and dumped at the isolated stretch of the road appeared to have been doused with a corrosive substance.
Wakati polisi tulipata ujumbe, tulienda kwa scene, tukaangalia miili. Tulikuwa na miili 3, middle-aged men walikuwa wametupwa next to each other. On identification, miili ilikuwa imeoza kiasi, but they appeared as if they have injuries.
Abanje noted that the victims were not from the area as there were no recent reports of missing persons among the locals, adding that the patrols would be enhanced in the area.
But within our command, our station area, we don't have any report of a missing person within my area. So I believe maybe they were killed somewhere else and dumped along the road.
However, the residents expressed their concerns over the area being a haven for thugs, which may soon turn into a dumping site for bodies killed in other places.
Sasa hii area ndio inaitagwa Ithagani. Na kwanza hapa mbele hapa pakuwa pazuri sana. Hata hakuna mtu anakubali kusimama.
Right, and now to something that has been quite in the limelight, the whole Gikomba fire. And traders at the Gikomba market are once again counting losses after a fire gutted down a section of the market. The fire has ravaged Gashosho and dry fish markets and gutted blocks of Gorofani and Bondeni estates. Take a look.
Blowing smoke from these burning clothes is a clear indication of what transpired at the Gikomba. Business people encountering huge losses as the perennial fire strikes again. The fire has ravaged Gashosho and dry fish markets, gutted blocks of Gorofani and Bondeni estates. Thousands of traders have suffered incalculable losses. According to the Kenya Red Cross, the fire started near the dispensary at Gashosho area at around 1 a.m. Member of Parliament Yusuf Hassan has also pleaded with the President William Ruto to set up a special fire fund and provide urgent assistance to the victims of the fire.
Vibanda ambazo zimechomwa. There are real people here. There are real people here, human beings, who are set themselves up, self-help. They have created their own economy, their own livelihoods. They make money, they feed themselves, they send their children to school, they pay taxes to the government, and they need to be protected. They need to be enhanced. They contribute to our economy.
Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna has said that the poor security measures in the place is the reason for the incident, saying security at Gikomba market should be reinforced.
That in fact these fires are not accidental. That there are people who, as Mheshimiwa Mwago has said, have certain interest in this particular market. So if this particular place is designated as a market, we know the boundaries of the market. We get everybody to know where the stall is going to be and to have proper security in place for us to be able to ensure that even when some of these things happen, we're able to resolve them very quickly. But you cannot have traders living every day worried that their stock that they have left in their stalls will not be there in the morning.
Gikomba Market Chairman Samson Wanjohi has called on the county and national government to find a lasting solution to the perennial problem.
Pia ningeomba serikali, wakati huu maisha ni ngumu sana. Unga iko bei kali, kila kitu iko bei kali, na saa hii wafanyabiashara wameangamia ni zaidi ya 20,000.
And to the wonderful world of sports, KCB rugby team has intensified its preparations for the upcoming floodlit rugby tournament slated for the 29th of October this year at the Impala Grounds, Nairobi. Speaking during their training session, KCB Parks coach Mariko Mushila stated that they are ready for the challenge and are hopeful of clinching the maximum points as they are set to take part in the 15th version of the game since they last played in the 2021-2022 Kenya Cup season. The Bankers are the defending champions of the tournament and will test their fitness and competitiveness before the start of the 2022-2023 Kenya Cup season in November.
There's no pressure. As I always say, it's just one game at a time. We're in it to win it. So from I think the get-go, that's what our goal is. So.
Good platform to see how everything is going, but so far so good. I believe we are ready to take on the tournament.
And in Mombasa, Bandari Swimming Club and Aga Khan Academy continued the dominance of the coast swimming competition after edging out their opponents to take the top 2 positions of the coast mixed levels short course and relays gala at the Aga Khan Academy, Mombasa. The 3-day meet that culminated today was used by swimmers to hit the qualifying standards for the Kana Zone 3 Championships slated for November 17th to 23rd this year in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Bandari's team of Hadija Huelaid, Jasmine Ikegu, Dalia Shikuli and Amina Sheikh teamed up to win the girls 10 and 11 years 400 meters freestyle relay with a time of 6 minutes and 5.2 seconds before the boys team won the 8 and 9 years old category of the race in a time of 8 minutes and 36.61 seconds. Meanwhile, in the individuals category, Tugi Mwege of Mombasa Aquatic clocked 21 minutes and 8.40 seconds to win the girls E14 and 15 years 1500 meters freestyle.
We have some very well-known key swimmers who have been part of the national team, some who are also looking to break into the national team for the upcoming events. So we are very hopeful of some excellent results this time round, and we look.
And away from that, Roberto Osamo scored 10 goals to help Boomerang defeat University of Eldoret Pipers 37-28 in the Kenya Handball Federation League at the Nyayo National Stadium. Boomerang dominated the match from the start and took a 20